What's up guys, Hades here. Welcome to week 2 of Illusion Battlefield. I'm going to try and get one Illusion Battlefield video out every week if I can. Some weeks will have different important information depending on what's available. Some weeks are going to be a little bit weaker on the opponent's side, and there'll still be things to learn, okay? So we had a pretty weak opponent on our last match, but there's still some really important things to go over. The builds from last week. Now, I saved 4 reports. Each report has something to learn. There's no disrespect to these players, but there is just a learning curve to building in this game, right? I consider myself a master builder. I've been one of the best builders in IB League specifically for a very long time, and I do know what I'm doing. Now, I'm going to show a few examples of what I saw and what was good and what was bad and what can be improved upon and adapted right, but also the creativeness of this game, right? The creative freedom is why I was drawn to this game. And I want to explain some of the things you can do to be creative, right? So we're in a mirror match here, right? First of all, you need to understand that dragons do a ton of damage, 4 million and 5 million, right? No matter what happens, the dragons are going to do a lot. Now, there are some skills that are good and some that are just not. Absorb is not a top tier skill. It's going to provide almost nothing. We can look, it healed 81k. It proc 2 times and healed 81k. That's nothing, right? I mean, just an auto attack averages 80,000. So a skill that we don't want. Retaliate. Each time being hit by a normal attack, you have 30% chance to retaliate. Again, did 5 procs, 180,000. I would have just liked to see those points in something that's actually going to provide you value. You're going to get extra damage on Fighting Will, higher chance to get damage on Fighting Will. I mean, same with the Wu. Like, Wu is the main source of damage, and there's no points here, right? I'm not a fan of the 3-3-3-3 on everything, and I'm definitely not a fan of putting 2 or 3 on this team and 2 and 3 on another team. You're just going to have 2 weak teams, right? I'm going to have 1 strong one. How are you going to break me? Lifelink. Let's look at lifelink stats, right? Nothing. I think nothing. Let's look at mine and see if there's any. Oh, there. 100,000. Did 200,000. That's actually pretty decent for level 2, but there's just better options, right? Assist. You get full value of assist at level 1. We don't need points in assist. We want to be assisting our mage. We want full damage on our mage, right? Look how much my mage did. 8 million versus theirs. Nothing, right? There's a reason that my team wins and this one doesn't. There is a blueprint. There's a proven blueprint to work. My Ashoka absorbs all the damage. You can see his HP. He tanked all the damage, allowed my Wu to stay alive, and then she does all the damage, right? These are the basic principles of IB League. And for all those newer servers that cannot find success, they need to be following the blueprint. Okay, next match. What do you notice here? You notice that I almost lost, and it's gonna shock you. Okay, and this is where I showed you the counters last week. That water beats fire, fire beats fire con, and fire con beats water. Look at this. There's nothing. This doesn't even work on mages. You don't miss. You don't need this. And there's no side assist. And there's no levels. This is a level 1 water team nearly one-shotting. Look at this. Look at this. A no damage Merlin did 6 million damage on his ultimate. 6 million. He crit 3 times. And they don't have misleading. Or, yeah, they don't have weakness. How insane is that, right? Just a little buff to magical attack. Unbelievable. This is why I show you the 3 presets, okay? And we'll go over my presets for week 5 after these reports. Okay, here's some creative. Now I need you to understand, this is my 3rd, 4th team. I purposely don't put skills to try and make fights entertaining for myself. But look how much damage I do. Look at this. Base skills off of these heroes are almost 1 million, and 4.4 from the dragon. If I throw this team in a rally, I'm gonna beat, two of these teams is gonna beat one of these teams, right? Now this player finally put some of the pieces together. I like Annihilation. I like Concentration. I actually do like Chase on the mages, as long as you pair it with crit chance, and this team is lacking it. If you're gonna run chase, you gotta go with weakness. You have to get some crit chance in here. Otherwise, I like the theme. I like the Merlin. Merlin is super effective against fire teams with the fire dragon. This is a cool concept. This conceptually can work. Add an assist over here, and we got a good team going, right? Number 4, and the last one. Just a complete disaster. We don't want our carry holding an aura. It doesn't help him. This can be put on a different hero and get the full effect. We don't want to be putting a critical ability on Alex. He has a terrible crit chance. Critical hits low. You'll just look at the stats. Fighting Will, 0 crits. Normal attacks, 1 critical hit. 1 out of 16 attempts. Not worth it. Plus, he doesn't need energy. He does most of his damage without the energy anyways. I do like Fighting Will on Alex. I think that's great. But why not put points in Cleave? Cleave is like one of the best skills you can have. Why all the lifelink? Let's look at lifelink damage. Lifelink 69,000. 440 is pretty good. 270 is pretty good. Okay, you know, 500,000. Let's just round it to 8. I'd actually did 1 million. I'm actually pretty fan of that. That's pretty cool. It did 1 million damage. Lifelink's really awkward. It shows it on the opponents. You know, live and learn. I don't use lifelink ever. I did 1 million. It's very random. It's kind of hit or miss, but you know, it's creative. I like that. Malice is good. Death Breath on the support is creative. I like that. Attack speed's good. Misleading is fine. But most players are going to have mages, and mages don't miss. Remember, you look at a mage. I'm going to have no misses. Death Breath is half physical, so it can miss. And my fire, it will never miss. So, key concepts, right? So let's go into the builds, and let's add those 50 points, right? We get 50 points a week. Let's add those points today. And let's walk through why we put them there, okay? So remember, fire beats fire con beats water, water beats fire. Very important. You need all 3. I showed you that report that this water team easily beats his fire team. Easily. Now, there are some skills we don't want to touch because they have super high value level 1. That's Duel Master, Assist, and Fighting Master. They have insane value level 1. We want to maximize points elsewhere. Because Fighting Master, you're going to get the control level. It's 1 or level 8. Doesn't matter. Same with Assist. You're going to tank the damage level 1 or level 8. It doesn't matter. And same with Duel Master. You're going to not be wounded level 1 or level 8. It doesn't matter. We can get so much more value out of other things. So what are we fighting? Well, the meta is mages. There's lots of mages. So maybe we want to upgrade our resist. Maybe we want to upgrade defense blessing. A little bit of both. Maybe Malice, because we want to stop crits, right? These are all good options, okay? There's no one, like, perfect answer because you don't know what you're going to fight. You can fight something very physical based. It could be an Alex and Khan type of carries. And then you would have rather Oak Guard, right? Or you're going to only fight mages and you're going to wish you had more resist. So you could split between Oak Guard and resist. Or you could just go straight up Malice and avoid the crits and level up defense blessing a bit more, right? The choice is yours. You can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you my recommendations based on my experience. The value from Assist, the value from Fighting Master, and the value from Duel Master at level 1 are not worth the upgrades. So, what am I going to do for this week? I want to consider things that are in all 3 builds that I'm going to get a boost on all 3. So I have Defense Blessing, Malice, Oak Guard, and Resist on all 4 teams. Purple skills get a tiny bit extra value because they only cost 3 points versus 4. So I think I'm going to max out my Defense Blessing. I think I'm going to tap into a couple points of Oak and Resist to hedge my opponents and go in on Malice. And I got 3 points floating. You know, I could put it on Dual Master. I could put it on Fighting Will just to get the 1 extra percent, you know. Min-maxing doesn't make a big difference. I'll probably put it on Fighting Master. And boom, now I min-maxed it. And I have all my teams upgraded. Looking good for the next round. There's a lot of ways to adapt this. I've talked about this in the past. Remember, you could switch Oak Guard, or you could drop points on Malice. We could move Death Breath here. And we could add a different skill here, right? We talked about it. You could have Chase, could be Heavenly Thunder. It could be Toxic Nova. It could even be something like Rage. You know, be creative. It could even be Meteor, because blues only cost 2. If you really want to save points. I even see some people do Wisdom. I'm not a big fan of that one though. And there's a new one that they added. This one, Ignite, right? Magical Attack. That's just their base value. What that's doing is it's increasing their base stat, right? Right here, Magical Attack. It'd be increasing this to, I think, 4,000. So pretty good. It doesn't actually double your damage. It kind of looks like it does, but it doesn't mathematically. But yeah, that's it for this one. I hope you learned something new. I hope you're finding fun and creative ways to build your teams. And if you do, make sure you leave, like, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.